Every parent knows that feeling. Your child is mid-meltdown, screaming, crying, maybe throwing themselves onto the floor, and every instinct inside you is pulling in two directions at once. Either rush in and fix it, or put your foot down and stop it cold. The problem is, neither one actually works. Not reliably, not consistently. Because here's what most parents never get told. A tantrum isn't a behaviour problem. It's a brain problem. It's emotional flooding, and the way out of it is completely different from what most of us were taught. Here's the shift that changes everything. The overwhelmed brain has a natural exit point. It can move through the storm and come out the other side, but only when it receives the right signal. And the reason that signal matters so much is this. Your child's nervous system doesn't yet know how to self-regulate. It has to borrow that ability from yours. In the middle of a meltdown, their little body is saturated with stress hormones. The rational, thinking brain has essentially gone dark. What's left is a child who feels genuinely frightened by what's happening inside them, out of control, overwhelmed, and completely unable to find their way back. Most parents assume that without some kind of intervention, a consequence, a firm warning, or simply ignoring it, the tantrum will stretch on indefinitely. But that's not how the nervous system works. Tantrums have a biological endpoint, and you can reach that endpoint far sooner than you think, once you know how to communicate safety to an overwhelmed child. When you try to reason with them in that moment, discipline them out of it, or step away hoping they'll figure it out, you're actually keeping the stress response running longer. Their body is waiting for one specific message. Without it, a tantrum can drag on for 20, 30, even 40 minutes, leaving both of you spent and disconnected. But when you learn to send the right signal at the right moment, you can help their nervous system settle in under 60 seconds. And over time, you're literally rewiring their brain to recover faster on its own. That's the real reason some children bounce back quickly, while others seem trapped in endless meltdowns. It's not temperament. It's not how difficult they are. It's simply whether their nervous system is getting the message it's been waiting for. My name is Helen Hoffman, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to help your child's brain come down from a tantrum in under 60 seconds. Part 1. The signal your child's brain is waiting for. When your child is in full meltdown mode, writhing on the floor or screaming until your ears ring, it's easy to feel completely helpless. You've tried talking, you've tried consequences, you've tried walking away, and still, nothing lands. The reason none of it works comes down to neuroscience. During a tantrum, the part of your child's brain responsible for language, logic, and reasoning has gone offline. It's not available. It's not listening. What is running, at full capacity, is the part that constantly scans the environment for threat or safety. And that part is waiting, desperately, for one clear message. I am safe. Someone bigger and calmer is here with me. This feeling will pass. Until that message gets through, the stress hormones keep flooding their body. The tantrum continues. It has no reason to stop. Think about it this way. Imagine you're driving and your car suddenly starts skidding on ice. Your heart is hammering. Your hands have a death grip on the wheel. Your whole system is in survival mode. Now imagine the person in the passenger seat starts shouting instructions at you, or worse, criticizes how you were driving. Does that help? No. It makes every muscle in your body tighten even more. But if that same person stays completely calm, speaks in a quiet, steady voice, and tells you you're going to be okay, something in your chest begins to loosen. Your body starts to believe them. That's precisely what happens inside your child's brain when you show up as calm rather than reactive. They're skidding emotionally, and they need you to be the steady voice that signals safety, not another layer of chaos on top of what they're already drowning in. So the next time your child melts down, I want you to have just one focus. Send the signal that they are safe. Not that the behaviour is acceptable, not that there won't be a conversation later, just that right now, in this moment, someone who loves them is here, and the storm is going to pass. Get low. Stay calm. Let your presence do the heavy lifting. The specific words you choose matter far less than the energy behind them. When you can become the stillness inside their storm, you become the signal their brain has been searching for. And that's the moment the tantrum finally has somewhere to go. Part 2. Why your calm outweighs anything you say. In the middle of a meltdown, most parents reach for words. Use your words. You're okay. Stop crying and tell me what's wrong. It feels like the natural thing to do. You're trying to reach them, trying to help them through it. But it doesn't work. And it's not because your child is being defiant. During intense emotional overwhelm, the language centers of the brain temporarily shut down. Your child is not processing your words the way you imagine. They're not ignoring you on purpose. They literally cannot hear you in the way you need them to. What their nervous system is picking up on instead is something far more primal. Your tone, your physical tension, and whether you feel regulated or reactive. That's the signal that actually gets through. This is why a calm parent can end a tantrum faster than any perfectly worded script ever could. I've watched this dynamic play out countless times. A parent tries every phrase they can think of, and the tantrum only escalates. But the moment that same parent stops talking, takes a slow breath, and simply becomes physically still, the child starts to settle within minutes. I once watched a father in a parking lot trying to manage his 4-year-old who was in complete meltdown. He kept explaining over and over why they weren't going back inside. And each time he spoke, his own frustration crept a little higher into his voice. The louder his explanations got, the louder his son cried. And then he just stopped. He dropped to one knee, took a long breath, and stayed there. Quiet, face soft, not pushing. 90 seconds later, his son's crying slowed. The little boy reached for his dad's hand. Nothing about the words changed. Everything about the energy did. So when your child is in the thick of it, pause and take inventory of your own body first. Are your shoulders up near your ears? Is your jaw clenched? Is your voice climbing? If yes, 3 slow breaths before you do anything else. Drop your shoulders. Soften your face. Let your body be the message. You might say something simple. I'm right here with you. But what matters most is that those words come out in a voice that doesn't match the chaos around them. Your calm tells their nervous system that the danger has passed. And that's the message that actually ends the tantrum. Part 3. The one physical position that changes everything. Where you place your body during a tantrum matters more than most parents realize. The instinct is to stand over the child, either to try to make eye contact or simply out of exhaustion and frustration. But for a child who is already deep in fight or flight mode, a large person towering above them doesn't read as comfort. It reads as threat. And that keeps the stress response running. Getting physically lower, kneeling beside them, sitting on the floor, crouching down until your eyes are level with theirs or even below, can shift the entire dynamic almost immediately. Make it a rule for yourself. When a tantrum starts, go low. Not to force eye contact, not to make them look at you, just to change what your body is communicating. Stay there calmly and let your lowered position do the signaling. If they're flailing or pushing you away, that's fine. Stay close without looming. You're not backing down or conceding anything. You're simply helping their brain understand that the emergency is over, so the tantrum can reach its natural end. Part 4. Name what's happening inside, not what you see on the outside. When a child is screaming and crying, every instinct pushes you towards stopping the behavior. Calm down. You're fine. There's no reason to be this upset. These phrases feel helpful. They're meant to be reassuring. But for a child in emotional overwhelm, they land as dismissal. Because they don't feel fine. And being told they should feel fine only deepens the sense that no one truly sees what they're going through. What actually helps is naming the internal experience. What's happening in their body, in simple, non-judgmental language. When you say something like, "Your body is feeling really overwhelmed right now," or "That's such a big feeling to carry," you're giving their brain something it desperately needs. The felt sense of being understood. Think about the last time you were genuinely falling apart. Maybe you'd just received devastating news, or something you'd worked hard for had collapsed. And someone walked up and said, "Stop crying, it's not that bad, you're fine." How did that land? Now imagine someone said instead, "I can see how much pain you're in right now." They didn't fix anything, but you felt less alone. The acknowledgement made the unbearable slightly more bearable, because someone actually saw you. That's what happens when you name your child's inner experience during a tantrum. You're not agreeing that the meltdown was justified. You're not giving them the toy or the screen time. You're simply reflecting back what's true. Their body is having a very hard time right now. So skip the calm down commands. Try instead, "Your body is so upset right now." Or, "That feeling is enormous, isn't it?" You're not asking for explanations. You're not seeking justifications. You're just holding up a mirror. And that act of being seen gives their nervous system permission to begin unwinding, because they no longer have to fight to be understood. Over time, this also teaches them the vocabulary of their own emotional world, which is the very foundation of self-regulation. Part 5. Why physical grounding reaches where words cannot. Once you've gotten low and named what your child is experiencing, the next step is offering physical grounding, gently, without force or agenda. During a meltdown, a child's body is running on stress hormones, their nervous system revved to maximum. Calm, steady touch from a trusted person can reset that system faster than anything else, because physical contact communicates safety on a level that words simply can't access. This isn't about grabbing or restraining, it's about making yourself available. Open arms, a quiet hand resting on their back. Simply being close enough that your presence can be felt. All of it carries the same message. You are not alone in this, and I am not going anywhere. Think of what it feels like to come in from the cold and have someone wrap a warm blanket around your shoulders. Your body doesn't need a verbal explanation of why it will feel better. The warmth itself does the work. That's what gentle touch offers an overwhelmed child. It speaks directly to the nervous system, bypassing language entirely, and says, "The emergency is over. You can let go now." This is why children so often collapse into their parents' arms at the tail end of a tantrum. The body finally receives the physical safety signal it has been waiting for all along. Here's how to offer it. Once the crying begins to soften even slightly, make yourself available without pushing. Open your arms and wait. Rest a gentle hand on their shoulder or back. If they push you away, don't take it personally and don't insist. Simply stay nearby, calm and present. Some children need a moment of space before they're ready to be held. That's their process, and it deserves respect. What matters is the offer, grounding without pressure. And when they're ready, your steady presence will carry their body across the finish line. This isn't about hugging the problem away. It's about giving the nervous system the final piece of what it needs to fully release the stress it's been holding. Part 6. How a tantrum actually ends. One of the most misunderstood things about tantrums is the way they finish. Most parents picture a slow fade, the child gradually winding down, volume dropping over many long minutes until the exhaustion takes over. They assume it's about waiting it out or finding the right consequence to speed things up next time. But that's not how the nervous system works. When a child's body receives the right combination of safety signals, your calm presence, your lowered position, acknowledgement of their feelings, gentle physical grounding, the tantrum doesn't drift to a close, it collapses. The crying stops relatively suddenly. The muscles loosen, the breath deepens, the thinking brain comes back online. This transition can happen in under 60 seconds once the nervous system gets what it needs. And understanding this changes everything about how you show up in these moments. Picture a balloon stretched to its absolute limit. If you let the air out slowly through a tiny opening, it deflates over a long, gradual stretch of time. But if you release the knot, the air rushes out in one breath and the balloon goes soft in an instant. That's what happens when a child's nervous system finally feels safe. The stress that was locked inside their body releases all at once, and the tantrum ends. Not because they got tired, not because they gave up, because the biological need for safety was finally met. This is why parents who learn this approach consistently describe the same experience. One moment their child was screaming, and the next they were reaching for a hug, as if someone had flipped a switch. That's not a coincidence. That's the nervous system doing exactly what it was built to do once the threat signal is removed. You don't have to endure 30-minute meltdowns. When you stay calm, get low, name what's happening, and offer grounding, you give your child's brain every piece of what it needs to collapse the stress response quickly. Watch for the signals: tension leaving the face, fists uncurling, a sudden quiet, a hand reaching toward you. That's the reset. Don't rush to talk or question or teach. Just stay present and let them finish settling. The lesson can come later, once their brain is fully back and genuinely capable of learning. Part 7. Why discipline during a tantrum makes everything worse. When your child is mid-meltdown, the impulse to step in with consequences can feel almost overwhelming. Send them to their room. Take something away. Make it clear right now that this kind of behaviour is not acceptable. It feels like the responsible thing to do, like parenting. But here's the reality most parents aren't given. During a tantrum, the thinking brain is offline, completely. Your child is not capable of drawing connections between behaviour and consequences. They cannot absorb a lesson. They cannot reflect on their choices. They are simply surviving a wave of feeling that is bigger than anything they know how to handle. When you try to discipline in that state, you're not teaching anything. You're adding more stress to a system that is already at capacity. The tantrum lasts longer, and your child begins to associate you with feeling worse, not better, when things get hard. Set one rule for yourself: no discipline during the meltdown. No lectures, no consequences, no corrections. Your only job in that window of time is to help their body find its way back to calm. Once they've fully settled, breathing normally, able to hold your gaze, present and reachable, that's when the conversation can happen. Keep it brief and kind. I know that was really hard. Let's talk about what we can do differently when that feeling comes next time. This isn't permissiveness. This isn't letting them off the hook. It's simply understanding how the brain works and choosing to teach at the moment when teaching is actually possible. Part 8.